Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you all and welcome to today. Today is Q Day. Today means it's Thursday the 8th of January 2026. I'm Pearson Bowen. It's also wonderful having you company. Looking at you every day makes me feel so empowered to do so much more. It gives the energy that I want. And so you looking back at me, talking back with us as well, is also for me quite critical. So for those of you watching on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, or our website, cbc.bb, thank you. You keep us company. We're happy to keep you company as well. As you share among yourselves, share with us as well. But share the show. Tell others about us. Let them come along to be a part of what we do Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot with which to engage. And there's a lot that you can tell others about as well as you empower yourself with information and inspiration. And of course, as I remind you every single day, if you know of something or someone, the story that has to be told, please tell us about it. You can send us an email. It's on your screen. That email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And we thank you for being partners in what we do. So to all of you, thank you so much for faithfully adhering to all we ask of you. Patricia Ben, she adheres every day. She's always one of the first to comment on our page. Pat Ben, good morning to you, my good friend. Have yourself a terrific today. Also watching is Helen O'Neill. Helen O'Neill, good morning. A wonderful Thursday to you as well. Make the best of today, Helen. Be your best self is all I ask. Joy Hendricks, good morning. Watching from Guyana. Good morning, Joy Hendricks. Hi, Hendricks, how do you do? Joy, just a cute question. Barbadian or Guyanese? Which is it for you? Seriously, I'd like to know. I would like to know what it is that attracts you to watching us in the morning. Joy from Guyana. Please respond and let me know indeed. But I really want to thank you so much for logging in from Guyana. Rhonda Hines Graham, Sweet Rons, good morning. Thankful Thursday morning to you as well. She's saying good morning to all of you who are watching all across the world. And to all of you, she wishes a most loving day. Let the love flow. Thank you, Sweet Rons. You continue doing well what you do as well, which is to inspire. Eleanor Griffith, good morning to you as well. Eleanor, how do you do? I love your name, Eleanor. It's one of those solid back in the 50s names. So Eleanor, good morning to you indeed. Have a beautiful day as well as we continue to share blessings with all who you encounter. So Eleanor, thank you so much for commenting on our page as well. Pam, good morning, Pam. Beautiful day. Enjoying your holiday still in Barbados. She's in from the United Kingdom. And you are in paradise. And please, on your return, tell others about us. Let them come by. Of course, in the UK, Barbados is a big name. But you'd still tell who doesn't know about your visit to Barbados indeed. Court Paul, good morning. Watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing, eh? You got your doubles? I tried. I really tried. But thanks for watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Have a good morning indeed. Bajan Rock. Stop that. Bajan Rock, good morning to you as well. Thank you so very much for logging in and watching from where you are indeed. It's wonderful having you company indeed. You know, this is what we do. Slender Glenda, good morning as well. My good friend Slender Glenda Yard, she's saying good morning to everyone, all who are on board. You're in for a ride today. And speaking of ride, by the way, today we also want to look at our roads. We want to look at our roads. What it is, a question of the day is, what do you believe is the biggest danger on our roads right now? What do you think that to be? What do you think that biggest danger on our roads is right now? Look at your screen. Look at your screen. I'll give you some options. I'm going to give you some options. Could it be the rate of speed that we use while we're on our roads? Is that one of our biggest dangers on our roads as to avoiding road collisions and every other mishap that could occur on the road? Could it be the speed at which we drive? Or could it be distractions by our mobile devices? And you know, we should not be using our mobile devices while navigating a vehicle. But could that be a part of the problem? The distraction one has through the mobile phone? Are we simply not paying enough attention? Is that one of the biggest dangers on our roads right now? Especially, I can't stand to see it. people lagging, as we say, simply because they are on their phone? Or is it road rage or impatience or aggression? Is that the bad mindset that we're using on the roads that's creating a danger to self and to others? Is it the general attitude that you have? Could it be that our traffic laws are not strong enough or being enforced enough or consistently enough? Is that the problem? Or could it just be ignorance of the law? What do you believe to be the biggest danger on our roads right now? Call me. Seriously, I'd like to engage with you right now on your thoughts on this. Could it be that we just don't know the laws, or we're ignoring the laws, or being reckless with the laws? What is it we're doing? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Ponder upon that and give me a call, because I'd really, really, really like to get your take on what's going on there. What is it, do you think, is the biggest danger on our roads? Speedy driving? Distractions by other devices and other things that are happening in the vehicle while we're there? Is it our attitude while we're on the road, the lack of patience, the more aggression, road rage, all of those kinds of things? Is it simply that we are not enforcing our traffic laws sufficiently to make sure we all fall in line and remain careful, more careful? Or is it simply that we just don't know the laws and we're just driving in total ignorance? What is it? 228-5562 or 228-5563. So we're going to take a look at that today. We will have with us the president of the Barbados Road Safety Association, who will weigh in on that question. I want you to weigh in now by calling me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Of course, you can write your comments on our social media pages as well. I'd love to hear your view. So Court Paul thinks it's number one, which is we're driving too fast. It's the speed, the rate of speed that we use while we're on the road. And there's so many signs along the roads that remind us of the limits. And yet for whatever reason, we ignore the limits. Is that possibly it? So thank you for your comment indeed. Is that the problem? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, that is good that you're doing good. If you're doing good, that means you're doing good for someone else.
Yes. You know, I just do good for not only for myself.
All right, don't keep the goodness to yourself. Share the goodness with someone else. You know, a lot of times we in life, we find ourselves going out of alignment. The vehicle pulling to the side, the vehicle of life is pulling to the side, and we don't understand what's going on. And then we frustrate ourselves, and it creates a bigger problem. What do you think is the biggest problem on our road, the danger?
The danger, one, speed.
Speed.
Road rage.
You see that?
People ain't got no patience.
You see that?
Yeah.
To the point
People
where...
are always in a hurry.
But to the
As my grandmother used to say, they're going to catch yesterday. Right?
Yes. Your grandmother's a smart woman. But do you see when they do that speeding that it really creates a big danger? Or are you just saying that because it makes academic sense?
It creates danger. And you know, Pearson, what is to me, just be like, they're going to overtake you with all the speed. And then you sit down, that's young. They know. I thought they were somebody know. Yeah.
They're only going one car ahead of you, you know.
Exactly.
But they could not wait just to stay in line. Just enjoy the moment. You're right, sweet
Very
Lawrence.
impatient.
You're quite right. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, Pearson.
Have a good one.
Enjoy.
You too. Thank you. Pat Ben says, I do believe our biggest danger on our roads is speed. But what causes us to think that we need to press the pedal, put off pedal to the metal? What does it go again? How does that go again? What's it, Peter? Metal to the pedal, pedal to the metal. I'm getting too old. I'm really getting too old. So Eleanor thinks it's speed, and that too, the traffic laws are not enforced sufficiently. That's your thought too as well. I want to hear more from you, folks. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Is it either of those that we have on the screen, or is there something else that we're missing? What do you think is the biggest danger to our roads right now? What could it possibly be? We're navigating the road of life as well this morning, and we want to look at the whole role of fathers in our society and how a father can help a young boy navigate life safely and efficiently and with purpose. We'll talk a little bit more with Fabian Sargent. He'll join us in just a little while to look at that. This morning, too, I want to introduce you to a young woman who is on a road to success. She is finding her footing in biochemistry, and she's creating a whole range of skincare products. And so we want to celebrate her as one of our young, exceptional people this morning. We will introduce you to her in just a little while. Tiffany thinks getting high and drunk and driving. Tiffany, you're spot on there, girl. But to what extent is that really a big problem in Barbados? I'd like to hear from you folks. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What is it, do you think, is the biggest danger on our roads at the moment? And a lot of it seems to be attitude related. I don't know. Is that your experience? Is that your thought? Call me, 228-5562 or 63. Also today, we'll be meeting a man from Trinidad and Tobago who has spent more than 20 years in the business of organizing events, planning events. And he's so much so that he has a template by which he's been able to meet success. So he'll join us this morning to share from his experience, the ways that we too, especially as we get ready for Carnival, we get ready for Crop Over, we get ready for all sorts of things happening. What's event management, event planning, and what are some of the things that we need to get right? He's written a book about it. And so he'll turn the pages with us this morning as we learn more from him and his experience as well. So we're navigating life in significant ways today. John says not paying attention to road signs and road markings. You know, you're right. A lot of us drive by and we don't even realize that the speed limits change at certain times on the highway. We assume that from beginning to end of our highway that everything is 80 kilometers an hour, and you will find it so wrong when you're confronted with a big hand of the law that says stop, pull over, because my man, there's an infraction of the speed limit. That's when you'll wake up. For just a second you realize, it's not consistent all the way through, and so you must be able to be mindful of those, I call it inconsistencies, where it's not uniform all the way through, and to adjust accordingly. But what do you think are some of the other big dangers? Is it the potholes? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Road markings for a lot of people, yes, is a big concern indeed. For instance, on the speed limit, do you know that when you leave the SJPI roundabout, heading towards the BET Hill, as we call it, to go down that hill, that on exiting the roundabout, yours is 40 kilometers an hour? Only 40? Do you know that's the speed limit? And I mean the maximum limit as opposed to the minimum limit. Did you know that? Yeah, man. So all of those things, you need to really watch the signposts as you go and become familiar. Drive by sight and not from your mind, your memory, because things can change as times go as well, because you may be offered traffic diversions, all of those kinds of things. So just be careful. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How do you do?
I am doing
You are doing...
pretty all right.
No, I don't understand that. I don't know what pretty all right
Sorry.
is.
Well, because I'm pretty,
Aye.
and I'm all right.
Your mirror still works?
But
Sorry. I apologize, okay?
okay, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. So you're pretty all right. And what do you believe is the biggest danger on our roads?
I think the attitude. I think there's a lot of impatience. Too much of that.
Do you drive, or are you generally?
I do.
You drive, and in your driving on the road, what's the level of impatience that you see? What are some of the examples of impatience that you see?
So when persons come to from a minor road on to the major road, they just simply put their face right over in front of you.
Yeah, they push out. They push out in front of you.
Push out, yes, please.
Say it like a baby.
And then the other thing for me is that particularly like taxis or ZMs and minivans, so they do a level of impatience that boggles my mind.
Beyond belief, yes.
Beyond belief. As one guy told me, where you going with that? I'm ahead of him, you know.
Wow.
Where you going with that? I lick that off.
Wow.
I told him, and you will pay for it.
That's right.
I was in awe.
Yeah, I know it's really, really annoying, the level of impatience, the attitude, the general attitude of people. And as you touched on the people who drive our public service vehicles, let me tell you, they could grind you to something else. I tell you.
Something else.
And because go ahead.
A guy came to the roundabout at Newton, and I am ahead of him. And you know, you come through there, both lanes. And the guy literally ran me all down the highway
Wow.
to get ahead of me.
Wow. It's
I
nonsense.
mean, person I travel, and you would think of the U.S. when the traffic, the people are no, you don't see that. People allow you to go. You don't have to ask to stop, and they allow you to go.
One of the things I enjoyed most in St. Lucia during the Christmas period was, and it's a fact, I've seen it, and they have not yet deviated from this, those that are drivers pull to the side of the road off the lane of traffic so the traffic can continue to flow, and then they wind their way back in. They use the lay-bys very, very efficiently. You're quite right. I wish that we could find ourselves being orderly enough to be mindful of those kinds of things. Go into the lay-by, allow traffic to continue, and then you make your way back into regular traffic. We will all abide, and we'll all be okay.
Yes, that's so easy.
I almost ran into an accident with that thing here. And you know what they tend to do? The ZR driver drives, he looks down a gap, he sees someone, and he stops immediately.
In the middle of the road.
Not just in the middle, but stops immediately.
Immediately,
and if
yes.
you're not mindful of that, you are going to hit bang into it.
Correct.
And
exactly.
those are things that really annoy me, I tell you. My attitude changes where that's concerned.
Likewise.
Thank you for calling, all right?
All right, you have a good day.
Likewise to you. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, we're coming back right after this break to navigate life as a father and as a responsible contributor to our community with Fabian Sargent in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, 18 and a half minutes after that. This is a conversation we shall continue throughout the morning. So don't stop sharing your view, your points of view on what do you see to be some of the biggest problems on our roads as we prepare to meet soon with the president of the Barbados Road Safety Association. But Fabian Sargent is with us. He is the man who leads the Men's Empowerment Network support, and he helps us to navigate life and navigate the road of life as fathers and as men. And so, Fabian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
I know the last time we were on, we were boasting of the fact that you and your son get along so well that there's public kissing.
Yes.
Father and son.
Yes, but I'll tell you this, sometimes you feel as if you ain't doing the best, but...
You do?
I feel that way, yeah. And it's important to highlight that, because people may see the fact that, people see on social media, and they get this entire picture like, wow, it's perfect. Sometimes I don't think I'm the perfect father. I don't feel that way.
Is that you judging you, or are you judging against something else?
It could be me judging me. It's me judging me. I think sometimes, you feel like you fall short. We all have our deficits. We all know where we came from. Well, I can't say no, but we all came from somewhere as a parent, and we don't always get it right. And it's important we understand we don't get it right. We also, it's important for us to understand where our deficits are. And sometimes I feel like, especially fathering a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
He's becoming a young man. So we clash a lot these days. But then, we sit down and have a conversation. At least I try to have that conversation and say, well, look, this is life. I understand that you have your own way of doing things. And I have a responsibility as a father to guide you in this particular way. And while he may not agree, I think he accepts. Well, maybe he ain't got the choice. But it's important that we have these conversations because people... who may be struggling out there may think that they're the only ones going through a particular situation. And it's not that, you're struggling in the biggest sense, but there are struggles, and sometimes it can leave you deflated. It can really, really leave you deflated.
I'll come back to that in just a minute.
Yeah.
the self-judgment for a moment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times men struggle with that and not realize that you are actually sowing some wonderful pearls. But because we're so consumed by what we think is the classic definition of an effective father, we miss the moments.
Yes, we do. But before you even get into that, I just want to celebrate the men that have been doing a fantastic job, because sometimes we talk about all the issues, we talk about the deficits, we talk about, you know, men what they're not doing, but the men that are actually doing don't hear enough. And for those fathers out there who are committed, who are playing your role, who know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I just want to commend you. I want to celebrate you. I want to ask you to validate yourself and do something good for yourself. Correct. If you know that you did a good task, feel good about it. I mean, traditionally, we are not taught to really manage our emotions and celebrate ourselves, but I just want to encourage men to start celebrating yourselves. And if you do that, it then encourages those who are looking on to understand the importance of celebrating themselves as well. We have to find a way to break this behavioral pattern, to break this cycle, and that is one of the hardest challenges. And the only way to do it is if we acknowledge where we are going wrong, you know. Back to
right.
What
so
you
the
were
self-judgment,
asking.
yes, acknowledging where you've fallen short, but also celebrate where you've been, what you've achieved. And it's to be able to define them in an honest way that you actually see them for what they are. But in recognizing your shortfalls, those are not failures. Those are opportunities to do better. How do we change that mindset to that?
Well, first I have to start with self-awareness. You have to be in a position where you want to say, well, look, this is where I'm starting from. This is my issue, you know. And support is also very important. We often think that we have to exist alone. Nobody needs to know what's going on, especially in family. You know, you are private. You don't want nobody to know that you and your child have a little issue when you going through some real difficult moments. But the moment that you engage someone in conversation, you start to share in a trusted place. I mean, we have to be careful with our vulnerability. Then you got to realize, you know, there are other people who are going through this, and the fact that you are allowed to talk and express yourself, you find that you even come with your own solutions. It's just that ability to really get it out there, you know, and keeping things inside, that contributes to the same self-stigma that we've been talking about. And the fact that we subconsciously compare ourselves to other people. We see other people doing things, we see other things happening, you know. As I mentioned earlier, you may look on social media, you see people looking real happy, all these fancy pictures, and I want people to understand that social media is just but a couple seconds in a moment of time. You know, two people could be quarreling real bad and they take a quick picture with two big smiles and then go back to want to kill one another. You know, so do not use social media as a gauge for what happens in the lives of other people. But it's very, very important that you accept and understand what's happening in your space, and if you have a challenge and you don't know how to overcome, share.
I like the fact that men feel away. To feel away means that you care.
Yes.
If you didn't feel away, you don't care. But to feel away, to my mind, is a good step forward. It's just to be able to manage that feeling and to find the solution to help you celebrate the happier feelings that would possibly come. And oftentimes men are told don't feel.
Yeah. Men are told don't feel because that is the false sense of masculinity that we have been fed. And it has contributed to a lot of the social fallout, a lot of the ills that we see. It contributes to how men manage and deal with situations. And we don't really understand that dealing with situations is like dealing with parenting, relationships, work, society, your social environment. If you're a footballer, you know, it transcends in many different aspects of your life. So it's not a case that you don't know how to manage your anger and it is just limited to one particular space. That moves across your life and you don't even realize it. And a lot of that is because it's embedded in you. And if you don't understand where that came from, then it is difficult to even start the process of managing it and even finding ways to deal with it.
You're quite right. And so, feeling away, fellas, don't feel bad about that. I'm saying like that deliberately, because the fact that you've looked into the face of your offspring, whether it's male or female, and you feel compassion, you feel a desire to be a part of, that's a good starting point. It's how do you fulfill that passion that you have for this child and do it in such a way that it uplifts the child. But at the same time, you know, you're navigating some other realities, which are broken relationships, difficulty with finances, and a whole host of other life conditions that could sometimes derail you. Let's talk a little bit about that father who feels derailed because life is not easy.
Life isn't easy, and it boils down to management in terms of how do you compartmentalize. Because the most amazing moments that children remember, oftentimes not what they do with money, you know.
That's right.
It's not you buy or whatever. Sometimes it's that time that you spend with them. Sometimes these simple walks, sometimes these simple conversations, these simple little games that you may have home, a little pack of cards that you play, you know, just spending that time, even just being in the space is beneficial to that child. So, and listen, one of the greatest things that ever happened to me was becoming a parent. And I say that because it's like a stress reliever. I mean, the world can be so chaotic, life can be stressful, but when you get home to that hug, that smile, and just to have daddy, this is what happened today, and to just to listen to what's happening, and then to really do some introspection, realize this is a life. This little thing is so sweet,
yes.
you know. It releases stress, you know, and it boils on a perception. How do we see ourselves? How do we see our role? Understand that, look, life happens. There are things that we have no control over. And we spend most of our time in that space, spending our energy worrying about things that we can't change, things that we have no control over, things that happen already, and life goes on. So what you need to focus on, and what I would encourage men to focus on, is the here and the now. This is what you have control over. Let me deal with right now. Maybe you can park certain things for half hour, an hour, 45 minutes, but at least get in that time, because a lot of children are going with absent parents. I don't just jerk the computer, the device, the cell phone, you know. I feel like I struggle sometimes in that area, but then oftentimes I got to tell my sons, look, put down that.
Correct.
Put it down. Put it down, you know. It get a little annoying, it get a little miserable, but I understand the importance of them connecting with people in the social space, those interpersonal relationships that we've grown away from, because people don't know how to talk to each other, especially children. You know, everybody's in the room, everybody on the device. You know, you try to get the children to talk regardless. Technology will be there, but when you go into the place of work, when you go into university or any organization, you have to speak to people, and that is a skill that you just don't develop because you become an adult. It's a skill that you have to hone and groom from children. You have to have conversation with your children. And fathers play a major role because, especially in boys, boys see fathers as that replica of who I am supposed to be and how I am supposed to behave. And sometimes, I mean, we men, we don't understand how critical just being present and how we communicate to our children, how important it is, but it is extremely critical.
And that communication is not just in words alone. Sometimes, because children watch you, they watch you so closely, they want to pattern actions after your actions.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to be so mindful of how clear your actions are. You have good intention, but somehow you don't quite express it in the way that you would want to until you see the response by the child. And you realize, well, no, that's not what I meant. That's not quite what I meant. So be very intentional in what you are communicating with the child as well. You mentioned the children and having that communication opportunity with the children. I really want to look at that for just a moment, because I know you have a girl and you have some boys. And so as a father, fathering both genders, is the style different for the gender?
Of course, a father to a daughter is the first idea of what a man's supposed to be.
For who?
For the girl. For the girl. I mean, girls grow up and they see men, they get involved in relationships, but if they never had an understanding of what a good man should be, how a male should treat me as a person, you know, in terms of validating me and making me feel as if I'm human, you know. Sometimes you grow up in such toxic relationships. There's a lot of issues going on in the homes, and then young females, they do not really understand, well, this is how I should be treated. This is the person I should allow in my space. So a father is extremely critical to really showcasing what a man should be to a female, how she should be treated. So I encourage fathers to treat their daughters like queens, you know, give them things, you know, to have that conversation and pay attention to how you react to them, how you treat them, because that's exactly what they're going to gravitate towards. Oftentimes you say that a girl marries her father, you know, the man that she probably is attracted to has so many characteristics of the man that she grew with, because that is exactly what she have grown to learn. And for boys, a man, a father, shows that boy what strength and what a man should be. And strength not in terms of aggression or in terms of physical strength or in terms of how you behave and, you know, that domineering type of thing, but in terms of being vulnerable, understanding the whole idea of responsibility, understanding who you are as a person, understanding the whole idea of being industrious, getting up and go. I was having a conversation with a man, and he was telling this guy, 25, 26, just sitting down home, laying down, and mommy's encouraging it because, you know, that's big. He's all right. We find excuses.
Yep.
No, as men, we need to get up and go because that's what we are built for. You can accept that or not, you know. We are built to be responsible. We are built to be out there, not laying home in the bed for a whole day.
Stop, you're going to make me laugh. This is going to get out of control.
And it's good to be candid. You see, these are things that we don't talk about. And Pierce, I'll tell you this, I'll probably get a little more candid. I find that a lot of young men who struggle because they are overmothered. Yes, fathers are absent sometimes.
Term, overmothered.
Overmothered.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I had a mother, boy 15 years old. Does he do breakfast? Oh, she was afraid that he burns his hands. Seriously? Seriously, we have mothers, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that, still pressing clothes, still washing clothes, still doing everything for him at 20, 25. Like, if he is a little baby, you know, they're not encouraging responsibility and finding excuses. He can't do this because of this, he can't do that because of that, you know, and still providing. But then, when crunch time hits and the heat comes, then they say, oh, but you this and but you that, but you overmothered the boy. You provided more support than was necessary for him. If we do not encourage independence, we will develop a situation where we got men who don't really want to do anything, and then they go out into relationships and they expect partners to mother them as their mother did. So those are things, and I'm encouraging men not to fall in that space, because then you get involved in intimate relationships, you become a father, and then you repeat that cycle, that lazy cycle, because then the child comes up and they see you not being productive, not doing what you're supposed to do, not being responsible, see you and mommy probably quarreling all the time because she's saying, man, get up and do this, and, you know, so we want to be able to break those cycles, and the only way we can do that is if you get men being a lot more aware, the support that is out there, not giving too much support, and allow men to be independent.
The overmothering, I want to come back to that for a second because I really like that phrase. The overmothering, is that a consequence of trying to break the cycle of an experience that she might have had before?
It could be, but a mother could only be a mother. I have to tell you, a mother have that, it's not maternal instinct, like just to be there and to take care. I think this is where now we are falling down in society, because we don't have enough fathers sometimes stepping up to the plate to break that. Because now a mother and a father need now to have a conversation. Okay, father acknowledges, well, you know, a mother will be a mother. I see it. My wife, she will be mommy. And sometimes I say, well, you know, this is what we need to do, because I understand he's a young man, or they're young men. And as a male myself, there are things that I will see that she will not see due to my experience as a male. And it is important that as a father, that I am able to kind of like intervene and say, well, look, this is what it should be, and this is how we need to proceed. And that is fathers being responsible, fathers stepping up to the plate. And that is where the leadership comes in, because then these boys see it. And while you may not understand that they're absorbing it at the point in time, they're learning because they're observing.
But they also observed the fact that there was a negotiation.
Yes, correct.
And a conversation did not result in a fight. But, and a shared, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But a shared agreement that together, this is the best way for this child.
Yes, correct. And that is where a lot of the issues come. You know, two people compromising, two people with two different value systems saying, well, look, you know what, I will compromise a bit on part of my values, you compromise a bit on your side, we can meet each other halfway for the benefit of that child. I also want parents to understand the importance of the developmental stages of your child.
Good. I'm so glad you raised that because that's exactly where we want to go. We will go there with Fabian Sargent right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
22 to 7 o'clock now as we continue having this conversation with Fabian Sargent. We're navigating the road of life as parents and particularly as fathers. There's a lot we want the men folk of our viewership now to really pay attention to, simply because children grow differently. And they grow not just individually differently, but there are different stages that they'll take. And this is not rocket science because the example over time has shown these changes as they go. So Fabian, let's talk about those things. You ended by saying to me that we must be understanding the cycle of change within the child's growth.
Yes. And the whole idea is that children grow differently, their brains develop and absorb information differently. They also interpret their social environment differently. And you as a parent, you have to acknowledge that and parent based on those developmental stages. Parenting a child at 5 years old requires different skills from parenting a child at 10 years old. At 10 years old, we understand that they're now prepared for puberty, they're now going through puberty, their whole bodies, they're going through some whole biological, psychological, and emotional changes, you know, and then they start to wonder what's happening, they start asking a lot more questions. A child at 13, 14, and 15 now really understanding, well, look, this is what the world is. They're developing their own sense of what the world should be. So therefore, things that you as a parent expected a few years ago will not be, you're not going to be questioned. So at 10 years old, you say, John, come here. And he's going to come. Mm-hmm. At 13 or 14, he said, John, come here. He asks you why.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why? You as a parent not accustomed to answering why he feels threatened, and then you believe it is a disrespect because he asks why. All it meant was that you as a parent just had to respond to the question as to why. Mm-hmm. You know, I want you to come here because A, B, and C. But because of our own hang-ups and how we accustomed dealing with things and the patterns that we develop for ourselves, it is difficult sometimes to even break those. And as children change and develop, we also need to change and develop our own parenting styles. Right. And a lot of the clashes come when you're parenting a 15-year-old or 16-year-old with the same skills of when that person, when he or she was 5 years old, not understanding that there are going to be changes. You as a parent now have to release a little bit. You have to give them some independence. You have to allow them to make their own decisions because very soon they're going to be out into the world. I say at 14, you know, in another 4 years, you're a legal adult. You're 18 years old. And trust me, parents don't want to talk about certain things. About 14, they're also telling themselves about 16 they can have sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, parents don't want to accept that. You know, you're saying these are things that they're doing. So you as a parent don't have to have certain conversations. Your relationship has to change. I'm not saying that you have to become all friendly and compromise on your beliefs and values and so forth. But there must be an acknowledgement that this life is changing. I mean, we evolve with everything. Technology has changed. Everything in your professional world, the skills that you probably had 20, 30 years ago, if you did not have some advanced training, you'd be lost behind. Everybody, we do a lot of advanced training to keep abreast of the time, to keep relevant. Why it is we don't do it for parenting? Why don't we see ourselves as, I need to maintain a bit of relevance. Like right now it's technology. 20 years ago, I did not have this level of technology. I am struggling as a parent, Maybe I don't need to go and learn some new skills to deal with this child because this is where we're going. But parents see parenting programs in a negative light, where really and truly what they're there to do is to help develop those skills that you have as a parent, add additional skills to your toolbox. Not saying that what we did was wrong. We're saying that there needs to be an amended type of approach to what you are doing and how you are doing it. And children know, because there's this disconnect and parents are not advancing themselves or even their parenting skills, there's like you find parents and children on two different wavelengths. The social media, the internet, they are taking up the role of parents right now in the lives of our children. It is comfortable for adults, and they're in their comfort zone. Like, okay, go along and play with the tablet and the cell phone, so I can do what I have to do, not understanding the damage that they're doing. And there's so much different damages. I'll tell you this. I know my little son would tell me that he got problems with my eyes. And I realized, something, he was looking at the computer too much. When I took him to the optician, they said, because of the distance that you're looking, you're not allowing the eyes to adjust to things that are further away. And I was like, things like that, you don't even acknowledge that maybe, we need to move from this to allowing children to look around. And there's so many benefits. Anyway, eye problems, neck problems, back problems, and even their attitudes and how they deal with people, because they're not accustomed. They're not accustomed to the interpersonal connection.
Isolene, look at the screen, is saying sometimes fathers are present and it still doesn't make a difference. I'm not sure, Isolene, what do you mean by does not make a difference?
I think I know what she means.
What do you think she means? Because
being present physically doesn't mean that you're present emotionally or psychologically.
I understand that too. But sometimes people use words without acknowledging that he is actually present and doing something, but because it's not quite what you want.
Okay.
As far as you're concerned, he's absent.
Yeah, and that is also, that's a good point as well, because our expectations really drives, how we really perceive.
Exactly.
How we perceive.
So
things.
how do we, as the young boy, particularly because young boys in teenage and going through that puberty change, they respond differently from girls. How does that parent remove the emotion, the feeling about the changing behavior enough to still allow for creating structure for the child as the child develops?
Parents need to first understand you were a teenager first as well. So let me put ourselves in that situation. It has to be very personal, because you can create all the structure, but creating the structure and not understanding or being empathetic to the person that you're creating structure for, you will create conflict. So I want parents to understand that you were 13, 14, and 15 before. Ask yourself, how did you respond to situations? What was the relationship between you and your parents? How were you thinking? How were you seeing your friends? What was your world like? Yes, it was a different social environment, but there are things that are very, very common in terms of how we see a 13, 14, 15-year-old, their friends are the most important things to them. So when you want to create a structure, you have to create a structure understanding where you were at that point in time. Again, I like to use myself. So at that age, I understand I had a lot of friends. I could go outside and but in this age, my son, total different environment, total different social environment. In our neighborhood, there's not children outside playing like before. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take away the technology and say, well, come off the computer, don't go back on the computer. Then who does he talk to? Who does he interact with? So creating a system, I have to understand, okay, that is his social environment, but we still have to create boundaries and limitations. So, this is enough, but also get them involved in activities where they can develop those same relationships that they would not have. Things that I would have done in a normal space home, we now have to create, let me say, like an artificial community for them to develop those skills outside of home.
And how much of that requires me to be physically involved?
A lot.
Okay, you answered the question.
Yes, a lot. Because physical involvement, again, we're dealing with modeling. If we leave the child to the community, then that child will start to pick up behaviors from. Children gravitate towards things that they see of interest, and that is where you get a lot of unscrupulous characters, a lot of negative behaviors, and people looking at negative behavior and saying, this is what we want to do. And you as the parent, being present but not displaying that dominance or those attributes that are necessary for a positive, holistic individual, if you don't do that, it leaves space for the negative influences to creep in.
We have to hear it and listen to it, though, because I'll use myself as an example now. My little 3-year-old nephew, he says to me, "Uncle, come play with me." Sometimes I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit here, watch you at play. Yeah. But you have to steel yourself and say, all right, come, let's get on the floor, let's do this, let's get outside and run around, even though you really don't want to. Being able enough to hear that call for the attention and that personal attention, that connection, how important is that to the parent to be able to be responsive to that call when it comes?
It is important for the parent to be responsive, but I will also go back, and I like to start from a point, is if that parent is prepared or knows how to be responsive. You see, again, it boils back down to expectations. We expect because you're a parent, you should do this, should do that, and you should know how to do all these things. But a lot of parents, they're the average person, they do not know, in many instances, how do I connect with you on an emotional level? Because I have my own emotional issues. How do I now change my method of communicating that we can now be at the same level? Those things create challenges for parents. So it is about preparing the parent or the parent preparing themselves to be equipped enough that they can then communicate with that child, that they can send messages and receive, because oftentimes you want to tell young people, you want to tell them what to do, not understanding that they want to tell us too, and they want us to receive what they're sending at us. They want us to receive their emotions. Oftentimes we're adults, and we don't even know what we're feeling. We struggle with our emotions. Understand that a child whose brain is still developing will struggle with their emotions and don't got a clue, maybe feeling something, but do not know what they are feeling. And we as adults, we have to now position ourselves to be able to connect with that and create an environment that pretty much helps that child to manage what they're going through.
It's perhaps for a parent one of the most difficult things to do, to admit that I don't know.
Yes.
You don't want to feel the weaker party in this relationship here at all. I just don't know, but let's figure this out together. That sometimes is a very difficult comment to make to a child.
But that is power. That is leadership. Accepting that you don't know puts you in a position of power. It puts you in a position where you're saying, well, look, there's something that I need to know. It teaches you something about yourself. But you thought, well, I thought I had discovered all the time. I thought I was in a position of power, but I realized, I don't know this. And to be vulnerable enough to reach out to somebody, a professional, a friend, somebody, and say, man, look, Pearson, listen, right now this child can bring this to me, and I don't know how to deal with it. How would you deal with it? And sometimes it's good to have that conversation and weigh the options. Not everything that the person tells you you're going to run with, but it allows you to be able to get some brainstorming happening, and you can then filter exactly what you will take and what you will leave, and it gives you a little more clarity.
Let me tell you, the road to life through parenting is so fraught with all sorts of things. But you must, and while there is no scripted manual, there are opportunities for you to learn from, whether it's through experience or engagement in sessions and courses. And the Men's Empowerment Network support is open to you to do so. Parados is open for you to help you as well. So reach out. Again, for those who are watching who think, as men, I want to talk because I'm struggling. I really want a relationship with my children, but I'm struggling for all sorts of reasons. How can they reach out to you to get guidance?
Our number is 850-MENS, 850-6367, or you can reach us on social media platforms. On Instagram, we are men's MENS _246. On Facebook, we are Men Empowerment Network Support. Our office is at the YMCA, right there in Painful Street in town. This year, you can check our social media pages. We are embarking on a real serious support group program. So for sure, definitely encouraging fathers and parents to reach out.
All right. The question is, because we've seen the comments come in from our viewers as well, what are some of the programs you have planned for 2026?
Okay, great. As I mentioned, Justin, so we're looking to have, we will be having a whole series of support groups. And this is important because I realize that people struggle, but there's no place to turn. And a support group setting provides that environment for people to pull on each other's strength, and then that is augmented by individual counseling if you so desire. So we'll be looking at support groups for anger management, a support group for fathers, support group for relationships, and support group for substance abuse. We find that there's a lot of substance use, so we're definitely focused on those support groups. So we really want to push that support group program throughout the year as it relates to our boys program. Before our Safe Zone program, which is like our flagship program, it was a 10-week program. We pause and then we do some evaluating, and we do it the next year. This time, now that we have our office, we actually have a training room. We're looking to have it consistently. So currently we have a program called Mentor Him. This is a collaboration with the One Family program where we have boys, and through that program, we have our mentors. They come every Saturday morning, and these boys are mentored. I walked in Saturday gone, and I was so amazed to see the men sitting down with books and helping these youngsters, like real one-on-one.
Yes.
And I say, this is exactly what is necessary. So we really want to build that program. We want to encourage more volunteers to come on board. I must say we've been quite successful with our volunteers, people coming forward, but we want to get, especially teachers, because a lot of these boys are struggling academically. Know that we have a space. We want to create a dedicated time during the week for boys to come in, and if you can have volunteer teachers, maybe those who are retired, who can spare an hour or two or evening a week, that can come in and help these youngsters in terms of reading, math, because for some reason we find that the academics, boys are struggling tremendously with academics, and I think that is contributing to how they respond as well, because there's a degree of frustration. If I look at something and I can't read it, I can't decipher it, then I become miserable, and then the fact that you feel shame, you don't want to tell nobody. You respond differently, and a lot of that is internal, and then we see a lot of behaviors that we call acting out. So any volunteers that are persons who are willing to volunteer in our academic program, 850-6367, and we need all the help. So this year, we just focus on the boys, and we focus on supporting families across the board. 850-6367. 850-6367. Volunteer to be a part of it indeed, and follow on social men's _246. Look at the programs, get involved in the programs, and let's get back onto a road that is safe, in a very safe way, navigating life and our relationships. Take a look at your screen. That's what you will find when you go searching. And that's the page where you can see everything that's happening as well and get involved. Fabian, as always, thank you so very much for joining us this morning and sharing with us. Yes, it's a pleasure being here.
Always.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, when I come back after the break, I want to hear more from you about that question we've been asking at the beginning of the show. What do you believe to be the biggest dangers on our roads today? Look at the screen. Look at those options. Let's talk about it right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scald, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet
you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing oyster...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at some news now. Barbadians can now access all social services under one umbrella as government launches the historic Social Empowerment Agency. Yesterday, Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley officially opened the first client center for the new agency at 6 Roads. Anesta Henry was there. She filed this report.
The Social Empowerment Agency is the amalgamation of 5 of the country's core social services institutions. This includes the Welfare Department, the Child Care Board, the National Assistance Board, the Resilience and Reintegration Unit, and the National Disabilities Unit. Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley says that the amalgamation, a process that started many years ago, is a historic moment for Barbados. She says it was treated as a matter of urgency to make life easier for those vulnerable groups requiring social assistance.
This was a complex process, bringing together multiple moving parts. And as you heard, even to have had 80 meetings across the period of time would obviously consume a significant amount of time. And it is true that I kept on top of the minister in the need for being and moving diligently and quickly. And every estimate, I said, you ain't ready yet. But the bottom line is that I also understood that in getting efficiency of time, that I needed efficiency of communication and efficiency of people buying in to the concept.
Prime Minister Motley says it is now the responsibility of those working within the agency to help build out the social capital within communities.
So that our young people don't believe that a gun is a tool of trade. We need you to build out the social capital in our communities so that people can become productive. Nobody likes to have to go and ask a need, a want, when they can go and earn.
And Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey is making it clear the amalgamation of the social services did not disadvantage staff. In fact, he says following at least 80 meetings with the trade unions, the conditions for workers joining the social agency have been improved.
We did not take advantage of any of the staff, but in fact the staff are all in a better position in terms of the conditions that we were able to offer the staff. And to date, almost 100%, 99.5% when you do the math, actually came over voluntarily and have decided to join the social empowerment agencies.
Minister Humphrey says this is the most transformative social services agenda in the island's history.
People are the core of what it is that we do. People who show up to a social service agency, particularly the people who show up on their first day, are probably having their worst day. And the reality is that we have to be professional, we have to be firm, we have to be, follow the rules, but we also have to be fair. And we also have, PM, I'm stealing all your lines today, but we have to see people.
The first client center at 6 Road, St. Philip, will cater to clients in the east. There will be one at Bentham, St. Lucie for the north, one at Sunset Crest, St. James, and one at Southern Plaza, Oistins, Christchurch. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Science and technology are coming alive for students across the island as the Ministry of Industry, Innovation and Science and Technology launches a new initiative launched to take science directly into schools. That program aims to spark curiosity, strengthen research cultures, and prepare young people for future careers in innovation. One of the stops was the Grantley Adams Memorial School, as we hear in this report from Deanza Roberts.
The Ministry of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology is transforming how students experience science, moving beyond traditional classrooms and bringing hands-on demonstrations straight to schools. Minister responsible for Innovation, Industry, Science and Technology, Jonathan Reed, says the initiative was born out of a desire to make science more accessible, engaging and visible to young people.
So today's the launch of it. Our intention is to go around to every single school in Barbados as much as we can during a short period of time, bringing the virtues of it, showing the excitement we are in it, showing pathways to interesting careers around science. And we want to bring some positivity and some joy in Barbados. I think that it's a fantastic time to be young with all the range of new technologies that are available. We want to think of Barbados that connects to the global shaping of technologies and that people could seek careers paths for themselves here in Barbados. And so we want to exhibit that in a dynamic way.
The mobile science program features interactive demonstrations, including robotics, circuits, DNA extraction, and technology-based problem solving, all designed to ignite curiosity and strengthen interest in research and innovation. Director Acting of the Science, Market Research and Innovation Unit at the Ministry of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology is Arlene Weeks. She says the initiative has been years in the making.
15 years ago, I had the idea that we needed a mobile science and technology unit to go across the length and breadth of Barbados. I had actually sent out proposals to some of our private sector entities. At the time, it was going to be called Driving into the Future. Now, we're innovating the future. I'm thrilled to be here today.
Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman says the program aligns with national priorities, including technological resilience.
Barbados must not only be a consumer of technology and goods that we use every day, but we must now challenge the next generation of this country to be able to have the self-confidence to be able to create solutions for global problems. This microphone that I'm holding, the car that we use to get here, the buses, every bit of technology that we use in this country, someone had the idea, someone had to create it. But we've never historically placed a premium in ensuring that we can now create a generation that has the audacity to create that next level of development through technology.
The Mobile Science Initiative will continue its rollout to schools across the island, offering students hands-on exposure to science, technology and innovation, one demonstration at a time. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
8 of 17 lifeguards made it to the finish line of the 2025 lifeguard class, and they will now join those who ensure the safety of locals and tourists at the island's beaches. A report from Rachel Agard.
The island's lifeguard fraternity has been bolstered with 8 additional personnel. That is the number of trainees who graduated from the lifeguard class of 2025. Chairman of the National Conservation Commission, Alicia Carter, tells graduates today marks the beginning of a rewarding and meaningful role in society.
We are depending on you. The public is depending on you. Every whistle you blow, every directive you give, every decision that you make, it carries great consequences. You are the ambassadors of the NCC and the representatives of the public. So when you go there, be kind to the public. People will come and ask you questions, the general public, tourists, whoever. But be respectful to each other, look out for each other. And the board expects a level of a certain conduct from you, integrity, honesty.
Acting Deputy General Manager Ricardo Marshall says they are in need of more lifeguards to ensure the island's beaches are adequately manned. And he says very soon they will be advertising for another complement of lifeguards.
We successfully trained 8. We were able to get those out in December, just before mid-December, in anticipation of the increased presence on the beach, with tourists flocking to our shores, getting away from the cold. It's the first place they head. Even if they heard of a conference for a day, they head to the beach. So we are mindful of that. The board of management, the management of the NCC, we are mindful of that. And that's why it's top of mind in terms of beefing up our presence.
The best recruit was Shireen Brown. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Let's look at sports now. A semi-professional cricket league is coming to Barbados, and local players are set to benefit big time from this new setup, which is scheduled to begin later this year. We get more from Anmar Goodrich-Boyce.
With plans already in motion for this year's BCA season, President Calvin Hope revealed the most exciting news for Barbadian elite cricketers. On the sidelines of the Under-19 West Indies team departure at the Grantley Adams International Airport, Hope announced that a semi-professional league will be played in April. A new initiative he hopes will bring joy to players and improve the standard of play.
From a competition point of view, we will be rolling out a semi-professional league. The concept is we will be paying the players, obviously people who play cricket, that's at the elite level, right? They work otherwise, so it's not a straight professional thing. But we want to bring some seriousness, some more incentives to the players. and to encourage a professional setup that can grow for the future, right? Long are the days where people just come and turn up and play at that level who want to play professional cricket. So we'll try to put a system in place to prepare them for that.
While not revealing the exact figures, which he says are still being discussed, he's calling on corporate Barbados to throw their support behind the move.
Right now, I am inviting the private sector to join us. And then cricket means everything to this country. We want to promote peace through cricket. And if you want to coin it as peace at the crease, right? We want cricket to play a bigger and better role in the Barbados society. We want our cricketers to be examples for youth to follow. We want the administration to promote this cricket brand as something very, very special and a form of excellence.
The 2026 BCA season is set to begin in April. And more Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
So that's news until now here on TV8. We'll have more news coming up with you at 12 noon. Morning Barbados is right back right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Morning Barbados news is brought to you by Jordan Supermarkets Spend and Eat 2025 competition.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will.
This segment of Exceptional Youth is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund, financing education the easy way.
If you know me, you know I'm absolutely thrilled every time to introduce to you and to sit and have an engagement with some exceptional young people from Barbados who are doing phenomenal things in our community. They're using their education, they're using their skills, they're using all that they have to make a tremendous difference. One such is Amanda, let me get the last name right, Amanda Marshall. Amanda Marshall, good morning to you. First of all, congratulations on all you've been able to do so far. When I was teasing the show at the beginning, I referred to you as doing your studies in biochemistry, but you made a switch.
Yes, I have. So I made the switch last year to pursue a degree in microbiology. I found it more interesting than biochemistry, as I can actually see, the microbes, the microorganisms that are growing on the plates and whatnot. So, yes.
What about that? And what about that really interests you? Because, we take it for granted, oh, well, that's so be it, that's life. But there's something about it that makes you think, I want to know more. Why?
Yes, well, I am particularly interested in viruses that affect human health, disease. So I would like to, get to know more about that.
And that is born out of a lived experience, or is just something you saw and you thought, this looks cool?
It's something I'm just interested in. I'm drawn to it. Yeah.
So what have you discovered so far based upon your studies about these viruses and how they form and how they propagate?
So based on what I've learned, there are like aerobic viruses and aerobic microorganisms and anaerobic microorganisms.
Now, I'm not a scientist, so
that
break those
are-
down.
So the aerobic ones grow in the presence of oxygen, and the anaerobic grow in no oxygen, right? So it's very important in my business, to know that this is a risk in the product, right? So that is why then you would need the preservatives to kill organisms that would grow above the surface and in the product as well.
And this business you're talking about is skincare, and the line of skincare.
Yes.
And Divine is the brand by which you go.
Yes.
Divine Skin, you also Divine Jewelry.
Yes.
And why did you stumble upon this kind of work?
Well, okay, so Divine Jewel, I didn't stumble upon it. That started for me in primary school when we had a jewelry class once a week, and we started making the metal jewelry. So it started there, but then I was like, I know how to make,
At least a bracelet.
Yes. So I had stopped when I went to secondary school, but I realized, this is something that could be done to make some money. So I started making some jewelry, and I've been selling to my friends, people via word of mouth. And in terms of Divine Skin, so I was watching YouTube, I won't lie, but I saw there were some really cool ways to make certain products, different products. So I saw that there was whipped body butters and emulsifying scrubs, which will actually turn white when you use them in the shower and when they get into contact with water. So that's where it started, and then I was like, is this hard? This can't be hard, because you can get a container, you can order a label, and you just have to make sure you find the butter to put in the container, so it should be easy. And that's how it started.
Yeah, but all well and good. You saw it on YouTube and you thought, let me just try this myself.
Yeah.
But then the testing of that product.
Yes.
Who was your guinea pig when you started to test yourself?
Myself, yes.
Okay. And were you happy with the first result, or how long did it take to find the right formulation?
I was so excited. I was like, this is so good, and I'm not going back to commercial products. Yes. And I started out with pure butters. So I hadn't started using emulsifying wax yet. And it was just amazing. It looks so good on your skin. It's very nourishing. Skin feels really healthy afterwards.
Wow. And so now you have a line that is designed by you. The testing is done by you. And so your word is that these are all good products. In terms of getting it out to market, how did you go about setting up and then making sure that other people know about and access?
Okay, so first of all, I assessed my designs and also the use of the products so that I can advertise them in a manner that would suit my audience and also provide them with the skincare benefits that they're looking for. And then I also make sure to use ethically sourced products so that the product is safe for people to use. Yes.
Did you not at any time panic just a little while, because sometimes you don't even know that you might have an allergic reaction to something until you actually have the something? Did you at any time feel as if I'm going to break out in hives if I try it this way? You
No.
were so confident from the very beginning?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I hear you.
Well, the products are all natural.
Okay.
So no chemicals. Everything can be used on your skin. I use essential oils. I use things like grapeseed oil, almond oil, sweet almond oil, shea butter, cocoa butter. you know.
That over time has been proven to be all healthy, so therefore it should not have a negative reaction.
Yes, that's right.
The discussion with your parents and then the people who you're around about this is the line of business I want to undertake. Did they give you all support, or did anyone chime in and say, you know what, Amanda, I think you need to think a little differently here, you know?
Well, my mother did, you know, offer some advice. She said, if you're going to do this, you know, you have to do it right. You have to make sure you start with what you first need to start, you know, the first product. And she's been helping me since. I first started with that those testers. It was actually this big container, and, you know, it was just a little bit, but from then on, I researched more and found more places to go to find more materials for the products. And she's been supportive all the way through.
Scaling up, because it's just you and with your mother's help, and you're working from home and all the rest of it, but you want to be able, now that you've put it out for the rest of the world to consume as well, to have enough quantity really to be able to respond to the need. How did you go about, and what help did you get to be able to provide sufficient that as your clients demand it, you have supply?
Okay, so okay, when I make a product, when I need to make a batch, that's fairly, it doesn't take too long. So you can spend an hour to make a batch of the scrubs, because it requires a certain amount of oils, maybe the emulsifying wax, you melt it down, and then you add your salt, you know, and it does not take, yes.
You two talk to a lot.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So in literally an hour, you have a batch ready.
Yes. And then you can scoop out, weigh your product to make sure you're weighing, each product is weighing the same amount. You add your scent based on which scent they choose, and yeah.
Oh, so it's basically on demand. So if I, the client, say I would want lavender, then that's what you do.
Yes.
As opposed to mass producing to the point where you just have all of this excess stock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which has happened.
Yeah, it could happen from time to time. But the business of it now, because you require now a business head. While you're the scientist and you can create all the formulas and everything else, in order for it to be tracked and monitored well enough for it to make sense to you business-wise, who deals with that?
I also deal with that. So I actually took a course in cost and management. And that helped me a lot in terms of keeping my books and, you know, writing down all of the raw material prices, keeping track of how much I use. Then I use a percentage of that price and create then the finished product price. And all of that, when I did that course, I did not know that it was going to be so beneficial. Yeah.
I'm glad we went that route indeed. And so, reflect for me just, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 21.
A child. A child by comparison with my age, for sure. But at 21 years old, you're doing science studies. You're balancing that with your business, which you do as well, and you do it so well. Where do you find the time for a little bit of fun?
Well, you have to schedule it in.
Schedule in fun.
Yes. So you have to manage your time well, especially when you know you have products to make. You can't go out and have fun and then come home and, you know, or if it is that you know you're not going to be able to go to work, come back, do your thing, you can wait until the weekend when you have a bit more time, but then you also need to then schedule in that time to, you know, go to the beach or go have lunch at a cafe, that kind of stuff.
Have you always been so serious-minded?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm trying to imagine the conversations with your friends. When it's about, Amanda, let's go to this, whatever. And Amanda says, but I have this to do. I have that studies that I need to complete. What do your friends say about you?
They're very understanding. My
Okay.
friends are amazing.
And they love your products for sure.
Yes, yes. I also make jewelry for them, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
When you do look back on your 21 years of life so far, and you think of the little girl who perhaps did you play with dollies?
Yes.
Who did all of that, and now who you are as a 21-year-old woman. Talk to me about what you see about your changing times of life.
Okay, so definitely I've become more disciplined. Ever since I was a little girl, I was more mature. So I wasn't really, just running around doing a whole bunch of things or singing. I was just more mature. And moving through life then, I still held on to that, but it is the skills and the qualities that I've learned that have helped me to grow now and become who I am today. So, the difference between now and then, or then and now, is that I'm doing so many things. I have the business, I have the youth work that I do, I have, school. It's just to manage it and allow my personality to shine through it.
Balancing all of these things. What's your motto in life? Do you have one that you live by, a purpose by which you live?
I don't have a motto. I do believe that I should be of service to others. I was a cadet, and that was instilled into me. Discipline was instilled into me. I believe that it's important to help people as well.
There are people who are your age, 21 years old, and who do not even know half of the things you do, but who seem to have a different life focus. And when you look at other 21, I know you're going to say to me, I don't like to compare myself with others. I can hear it coming from your head already. But nevertheless, you see others like yourself, and do you question what they're thinking? Are you happy with how they...
we all have a different starting point. It's just that my starting point is different from theirs. They may not have had the same experiences. Experiences shape people in a big way, and that's the only difference, because some people don't even have the support system that others may. So it's not to compare each other, because it's like the fish. You tell a fish, a monkey, and an elephant to climb a tree. Not all of them can do that.
Just do you.
Yes,
just
do
and find
you.
your purpose, find your passion, and live that to your fullest abilities.
Yes.
In 2024, there was the orientation fair and interclub committee activity, the Expo at the UWI.
Yes.
Do you remember being a part of that?
Yes, I was.
What do you remember about it most?
The interview.
What about the interview?
Oh gosh. I remember I was so nervous for that interview, but since then I've grown more, of course, and also shaped the business more, understand myself more. So another thing I do remember about that expo is the people coming in and trying the products. That was a really fun experience. I remember I talked so much that day. I don't talk a lot at all, but it was really good. And I like to see people's expressions and reactions when they try the emulsifying scrub and it becomes white and then rinses off, and see the differences between my moisturizing and my ultra moisturizing scrubs. So
we're showing on the screen as well some of your product range that you market.
Okay.
Give me a sense of the range of products that you do have in this skin line.
Okay, so I have, first of all, butters, which are not whipped, right? And then I have the scrubs. The scrubs are like the biggest component of the business, because I have so many different kinds of scrubs that can satisfy a person's need. So if you need to be more moisturized, you can get the ultra moisturizing. If you are not really particular about the moisturizing one. You don't want to feel like slippery when you come out the shower, because I've had people tell me that. Then you can get the regular moisturizing one, which is still going to leave you feeling good, but it's not going to be slippery like that. Yes.
Your skin line, you say when you market it, is targeted at the female, the woman more so than the male. But is it for both genders?
Yes, any gender can use it. I've had males buying the orange and the passion fruit.
Why is that a hit for the men?
I'm not sure. They just like it.
Okay.
Also, I use body oil. I have body oils. So these are also good for, you know, your skin and whatnot. But I am looking to introduce now beard oil and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of festivals will go to the full facial hair.
Yes.
And so that's what you're looking. Take me down the road for just a moment. What's your short-term to long-term plan?
For the business?
For the business.
Well, I'm hoping to just grow my clientele, have some loyal customers, you know, and see where it goes from there. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I'm going to try something, you know.
She's going to try something. I love it indeed. So the number to call you is 832-7000.
Yes, if you'd like to place an order.
I did a look back at you. 832-7000, and the brand is Divine S.
Divine on Instagram is divine_SKN, but it's Divine Skin.
Right,
yes.
I know. It's pronounced Divine Skin, but
Yes.
Divine_SKN. At St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh.
You got to forgive me there. That's a good place to market that, actually. Divine SKN,
Really?
St. Kitts and Nevis. And then there's Divine Jewelry as well. And so she's available. Folks, she's available. She's a young 21-year-old, very serious-minded, very focused, understands balance of life and purpose. And there it is on your screen. That's what you find when you go on socials as well. Emulsified salt scrub, moisturizing body cream, all of these things scented just to suit you. I talked about the lavender. You see it right there? There you go. All of that under her Divine line. And so we want to encourage you to check out Amanda. Amanda Marshall is her name. And so she is excited about what she does. We're excited about her being who she is as well. 21 years old, one of our exciting, exceptional young people of Barbados, who is very, very focused on what it is that she wants to achieve. And she says to other young people, you too can be equally focused on the thing you want to achieve. Don't try to be like her, be you. And so Pat Ben is saying congratulations to you, Amanda Marshall. Wishing you all the best in all that you do. You are indeed an exceptional young person. So our social media commenters are talking about you. I really hope that you do at some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, patronize her store, her offerings, and experience it for yourself. Then talk about it, share it with others as well. We need to continue to encourage our young people to do their best and do their best self as well. Amanda is leading by example that cause as well. As a scientist, we're looking forward to a lot more exciting offerings from you. Can't wait to hear where else, as you look under those microscopes, what other viruses you're able to unearth and how we can apply it to what we do as well. But thank you for being you.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome indeed. Amanda Marshall, our exceptional young woman today. We're back in a moment.
That segment of Exceptional Youth was brought to you with the kind compliments of the Student Revolving Loan Fund. Financing education the easy way.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
What you just saw are images from the launch of a book by the man with whom we shall engage now as we turn the chapters of the book EPIC. And EPIC is just an acronym, and he'll explain to us in a moment what that acronym represents. But what he represents is someone who has been shaking up the event planning landscape since 2006 with his company Buzz Concepts. His name is Brendan Brathwaite. Brendan, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bowen. How are you going?
I'm doing well. How do you do?
I am having a fantastic morning. This is my first international interview about the book, so I'm over the moon, very excited to be here with you.
Well, thanks for being our first, and thanks for having us as your first as well. You've been doing this now since 2006, being a genius, really, in creating epic activities and epic responses for people who are having events. And so, what is it that got you into event planning, first of all, and then out of that experience, why did you want to write the book?
Basically, I fell into event planning, meaning that I was a student in the Bahamas doing my degree in tourism management. So I met a lot of Bajan students there, as well as, I can say, Bajan family, because I consider myself a Bajan, even though I'm a Trini as well. The thing is, while I was there, my responsibility was to manage the campus because I was president of the student body. And I had a responsibility to host events for them. Because of that, I delved into event planning from that onset when I was about, let's say, about 20, 21. And I've never turned back since.
And you've not turned back since. But over the time then, you would have created and crafted enough to have put you in a place now since 2006, this is over 20 years now that you've been doing this, to be able to be in a position where you can say, these are the pitfalls, but these are also the bits that if you hit each benchmark, you can have an epic outcome.
You are so correct. Event planning in the Caribbean is designed to help people like me who, during the process, had no Caribbean text to guide the process and give me a blueprint of what to do next. Most of the things that I write in this book, it comes from pain, from problems, and from things I actually had to solve on the fly. And as a result, I said, no, I can't allow the rest of us to suffer. So I put it in a book. I put it in a book so that it could be now a guide for the upcoming event planner, the season event planner, and then persons who just want to polish their tools.
So it meant that you had to stop for just a moment, to my mind, and introspect, to look at the things that you did well, the things you did not do as well, and to be able to document it. Do you believe in this book, Epic, that you've captured what is critical to the Caribbean experience, so that Caribbean event planners for the future will have this proper guideline?
I'm 100% sure that I've done so. The thing is, we in the Caribbean have specific types of events. So, for example, in this book has probably the first glossary of the type of events that we have, from a raft up to a bloco to a carnival party to a fete. It defines what we do from a different perspective. Our cocktail parties have a lot of rum. And things along those lines that lend itself to us being a very unique bunch of people. Because we are so associated with the sea and we close to everything else, we tend to have, and of course our spirit, Caribbean people have a different level of energy. And so therefore it's important for us to capture that energy and put it into a text that speaks our language, one for the first time that is.
In planning an event, does one have to see the outcome first before we start that plan?
Well, again, most of the times we have to do feasibility studies.
Right.
And so the feasibility study will determine if the event makes sense to do. A lot of times people jump right in. They say, okay, we go in an event, and they go right in and start planning without even having the foresight or the skill set to determine if the event will end up being a success. So it has those blueprints as well, from starting to the process and from both a corporate as well as a personal side. So if you're a corporate event planner, you could apply this, as well as if you have private events, you could apply the tools in this book as well.
You're the planner. You've been doing this for so long, but you decided, okay, I'll twin this right now as the author as well. You could have stuck to the practical end of what you do and in terms of managing the planning of events, but you chose instead also to be an author. Did you know you had this in you all this time, the ability to write?
Well, that's a good question. I want to admit hands down that when I opted to think about writing a book, and it was my sister that keep on planting the seed, my sister Tamara, and she actually helped me a lot with regards to just focusing on the journey of writing the book, not necessarily the final product. It was more journey and, of course, self-discovery, because I had to now document what I actually do. And in doing so, I became a little more knowledgeable in the process of event planning, and also being able to help not only my staff who work with me, but other colleagues in the industry and friends and everybody else, So I feel like I'm doing a job of enhancing my industry and making it better.
The book ends with a section that looks at standard operating procedures for events planning. To write an SOP is in itself a real work of art, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of focus. How long did it take you to pull all this together and to also pull together your SOPs for event planning?
We've been writing the book for the past 5 years. Basically how it worked, it was I started before COVID, and during COVID I actually allocated, and I'll tell anybody who writes in a text, I did 5 minutes a day, every day. Only 5 minutes, and whenever I stop, I stop. And it allowed me to pull together a lot of the knowledge and just general ideas. So even when I was, let's say I was riding my bike, or I was in gym, or I was just walking and I found an idea, I would type it in my notes in my phone and say this would be a good topic to bring to the forefront in the book. And so in topics like understanding differently abled and how we in the Caribbean treat with it, topics that understand our food and beverage and it operates in the Caribbean setting, I put all that in there. But doing that SOP, I would tell you that the SOP had to come from a place of me knowing what I usually do and then making sure that I follow through with that. So now the SOP actually have an exam this week for my staff who are going to be drilled on this SOP. So it's not only about me writing it down, it's also something in which we'll implement in the company as well.
And that's so important indeed that, that everyone who is a part of the process is engaged in such a way that they understand step by step, by step, by step, so that we don't misstep and create one of those oops in the outcome. And there's a chapter that actually looks at that, because you say in the chapter 7, there is limited room for oops. Why do you say so?
The thing is, we as event planners get marked out of 1,000. It is not, you don't get 90%. If the ice cream is not hard enough, or if one person on the team doesn't get the right piece of fish or a large piece of fish, it becomes something of a personal nature. Consider things like T-shirts. If you have to order T-shirts for a group of 1,000 people, and one person who is like the general manager or the manager assistant gets the wrong size, that in essence could be a nightmare for your payment process. This person might be so upset that they may not want to even pay a check. So because we get marked so hard, it is very important for us to dot our I's and cross our T's in every execution that we do. Because not every client is lenient. Not every client understands the dynamics of it. And then, because we are managing people, we're not robots. Not everybody is ChatGPT. We basically have to ensure that we organize and execute according to the plan.
And so that plan must be a production plan that's very clearly defined and everything else as well, with your checklists as it goes. And so I don't want you to criticize anybody's production really, but I want you to give me a broad assessment of event planning in the Caribbean.
The thing is, I'll give you a story to tie it in. I had a coconut vendor, and my coconut vendor had to come to my event, and he was unable to come, and he sent his son. And his son did not have the template that I would have sent my provider before, which are all the service provider guidelines. He came to that event, and every single guideline that I had written was off the chart. He didn't have it. He didn't understand what was going on. And it's because he brought his family, he was eating from the guests' food, he was participating in the activities, he was in pictures, but he was contracted to just cut nuts and serve. And so what you have is sometimes, in some instances, because of our nature, not all services are contracted. Not everyone is saying, well, I'm not comfortable with that. And that changes the dynamics of what we do in the Caribbean, because in other spaces, it's understood that, yes, you have to write a contract, but a lot of our communication is verbal, and is an understanding that, you will perform these tasks. And because I know you inside out, and you are part of my team, you will execute accordingly. So we have a lot of different dynamics, and that changes the nature of how we do business in the Caribbean.
And I'm glad you went there, simply because I find out at times that event planners are doing a lot of things, not just on the fly, but not in an organized way, or seeing the business of event planning in the way that you would want more event planners to be able to see the business of event planning. What do you think the Caribbean needs, therefore, to be able to formalize it in such a way that more people who are in that industry really do formalize their education in event planning?
Well, what it is, I work at the Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business. I'm a lecturer there. And what they do, they have courses, and the courses can be taught remotely. The thing, though, is there's a constant need for an umbrella of event planners on all local levels, so that people, an association of sorts, so that the standardization of practices could be put in a gear for us to execute without any doubt in our minds. How much car park attendance for this size car park? How much shuttles do you need for this? How much drinks should be served for our event? Things along those lines for our Caribbean people. And as we get more standardized, it will make the planning and execution and just structure of events easier. So tools like these need to be coming from the forefront. And while I think I am one of the first, because based on my research, I'm one of the first persons to write an event planning book from the Caribbean, I feel that more texts like this would come on the forefront and create a better space for us event planners and us as Caribbean people as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Because if we don't get it right, the outcome is disastrous, not just for you and your business, but the repeat opportunity. And so to be able to delve into this book called The Event Planning in the Caribbean, Epic, How to Plan, Execute and Thrive in the Caribbean Event Industry is critical. It's written by Brendan Brathwaite, the name you see on the page on your screen at the moment. For those who are watching who try a thing, as we say, who want to be able now to access this book so we can learn from you who have proven over 20 years that you are really good at this. How can we access this book?
Well, it's in 2-4 places right now, and there's a limited amount. I think it's in the UE, Mona, bookstore, and it's also, K-Film, Mona, K-Film. And
yes, I got you. K-Film.
And it's also on Amazon. Mm-hmm. So you could get it there. Just type in my name and the book EPIC, and it'll come up on Amazon as well. So that's the two places. Again, if you do want, I suppose we could put my number on the screen if anyone wants it. You WhatsApp me, we'll get a copy to you. We'll try our very best to deliver in a fast time. But yes, it's available. It's available online as well as in the store.
You're using your template to be able to respond to the question, indeed, to provide access to the contents of the book, indeed. And so what would you say, Brendan, over your time in event planning has been that one lesson that you will never, ever forget?
I feel that as a planner, there are many instances where we panic because of situations that we don't have control over. Mm. I've learned to be patient and understand that tomorrow is another day. Mm-hmm. And even in bad situations, the lessons that you learn allow you to become better. And so when you keep on learning and you keep understanding that you will never know everything about event planning. It's such a broad scope. People feel that they could understand one thing. You have to accept the fact that you are learning, and it allows me to step back and work with a lot of different people who are much better than me in certain areas. And so therefore I feel I'm a student of the sport, if you would say it like that.
I got you. This book is a really good read, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good guide as well, because it starts with a question: why is there a need for event planning and a book like this? And it ends with the how-to, through the standard operating procedures, indeed. And so between those chapters, you get a full sense of what it is to be successful in what you do. And so Marcia Rock, one of our social media commenters, is saying congratulations to you on your achievement and the publishing of your first book on event planning in the Caribbean. There's so many of you. Yeah, there's so many of you who today see yourself as an event planner, whether it's for a small activity or a larger event. This book, Epic, is a great guide to help you have successful outcomes in the events for which you take responsibility. It's called Event Planning in the Caribbean, EPIC, Event Planning in the Caribbean, How to Plan, Execute, and Thrive in the Caribbean Events Industry. It's available online. It's available at the UV bookstore as well. And of course, you can reach out to Brendan himself, Brendan Brathwaite. Brendan Brathwaite is his name. He's the author of this, but most of all, he runs a business called Buzz Concepts. He's been doing so since 2006. He's a lecturer at the University of the West Indies as well. And so this is what he does. He's a man from his own lived experience who can guide you into having successful outcomes in your event planning endeavors. And so, Brendan, we say thank you. We wish you well in 2026 and beyond. And we look forward to more engagements with you on this.
Blessings. Have a fantastic day.
As well. Thank you very much. Bye. Morning Barbados is coming right back after this.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Without a doubt, you know that this year a lot of focus is going to be on sports, and school sports. We all get excited about this. And so there is a new element to Morning Barbados that we'll be introducing to you. That element involves us going out to those school sports and bringing you highlights of those school sports. We can't wait to get cracking because based upon the list that we're going to share with you, now we can share with you where we're going. China, who you get familiar with, you know she'll be covering this for us. So on the 5th of September, Spring Memorial, we're coming to your school sports. We're coming to your school sports. 5th of February, Spring Memorial. We'll capture that. You'll see it the next day. On the 6th of February, we're going to the Lodge School. And we're doing the same thing. So we're looking at the team spirit in 2026 for school sports. But look at the 11th of February. We're going to Coleridge and Parry, and that's going to be a ding-dong battle. I can't wait to see the highlights of that. On the following day, the Alexandra School, we're coming to you. We'll be capturing your elements of STEAM school sports as well. Ellerslie on the 13th, and on the 17th of February, the Leicester Vaughan School. So we're capturing team spirit in the school sports. It is such rivalry. We can't wait to share that with you right here on Mornin Barbados. So look out for that as a new initiative that's happening real soon. All the excitement of the energy and the progress and the success, in some instances the failure as well, of the little ones and the big ones who are heading to school. But the secondary school sports we're focusing on, and we're happy to bring that to you in just a little while right here on Mornin Barbados in the month of February. Today, we're going to the Kings and Queens Bar for Q in the community. That's at Waterford. We can't wait to have you. It's right there by what we call the old lumber company. That is where it's going to be today for today's Q in the community. Remember, we start at 11. You get into the bus terminal. The first bus leaves at 11 from gate number 1, and you come spend your whole day with us at Q in the community. We start it back from today. All right, folks, that's it for today as well. My little crew wishes you a wonderful today, and we do look forward, if it be the will of the Lord, to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.